one of the biggest requirements around agentic identity, lifecycle management, attestation without kind of like non-human identity, right? We have human identity already kind of solved in the industry. Don't forget, there's an AI networking summit coming up, and you're invited. So go to the ONUG, ONUG.net website to get your tickets now. So, and also if you're on YouTube or Spotify or any of the places where this podcast is being broadcast or streamed, make sure that you hit like or subscribe to it. Thanks. Hi, everyone. I'm Nick Lippis on the Built for Trust podcast. As you know, the ONUG community runs and operates the AI Networking Summit. We've been focusing all winter long on developing the AI Agentic overlay reference architecture and their major requirements. So what we've done is that we pulled from so many people within the large enterprise marketplace around what are the barriers that are keeping them from actually deploying agentic AI at scale. And so we now have those requirements and we prioritize them. We know that if these are mandatory requirements or if they're just important or if there's something that could be done later so they can kick the can down the road, or if it's really not a requirement at all. So we've actually now have that list. And I'll share a little bit, of what I'm talking about with you in a second. But what we're planning on doing for the May AI Networking Summit that's happening in Frisco / Dallas is that we are inviting all the vendor community to now address these requirements. So we're going to give every vendor who wants to participate in the collaborative and also be at the summit time to address particular agentic AI requirements, a very special place on the innovation show floor, as well as opportunities to do a workshop, like a 2-hour workshop on a particular one of these use cases. And then also we're creating a very special track for this. And so they'll have input into that. So we want to have a discussion, a broad discussion within the industry to help the large enterprise kind of get over some of these barriers and these impediments. What we'll also be doing at the conference is that we're going to be evaluating companies based upon this criteria. And we'll be giving out awards associated with them. So there's the Agentic AI Networking Award. So just to give you an idea, what are these particular requirements? They all tend to be focused around security. There might be one around networking, but mostly around security. And in general, it's really all about one of the biggest requirements around agentic identity, lifecycle management, attestation without kind of like non-human identity, right? We have human identity already kind of solved in the industry, but without human identity, how do agents get identified? How do we spin them up, spin them down, and so forth? That's one of the major requirements. Another major requirement, it's mandatory, is how do you, in runtime, do monitoring and behavior enforcement for various different agents. So extremely important requirement as well. What are the data guardrails? That means the input, the output, and the residency enforcement. So another major requirement. Content guardrails are also really important, and who's responsible for AI enforcement. This doesn't mean about the LLM enforcements that are going on, but in essence, when an agent either generates content or extracts content from a particular tool or an inference machine or what have you, to make sure like the content that might be going downstream to a customer falls within the content guardrails of that particular brand or company. Another major requirement, mandatory, is a zero trust enforcement. So everything has got to be zero trust. And this is all of these requirements, you can segment them for by trust domains. So within your own organization, you would have a very high trust environment, so you have total control over that. But these agents are being spawned all over multiple different domains that you don't have control over. So whether that's in kind of consumer-based LLMs like Gemini and ChatGPT and Grok, so forth and so on, or potential cloud-based AI tools, partners as well. So these will also span across multiple trust domains. So we'll be asking all the vendors to address, if you're just focusing on, a private trust domain, fine, that's perfect, that's great. But if you span multiple ones, we want to hear about that, as well. So how do you do zero trust enforcement? So that's a really big requirement, and especially as you cross trust boundaries in various different domains. The whole agentic secure orchestration and tool authorization. So that is like spinning up, spinning down, killing agents and so forth. So how does that all, what's the solution set for that as well as agent autonomy governance. So there's lots of different models associated, with those. And so we want to hear all about that. So that's what we're planning for the spring timeframe. In the fall in Manhattan, what we want to do is build upon that. And then for those companies who participate in the spring, they'll have first dibs at actually creating a show floor, whether that's virtual, or live, and it'll probably be both, where we can actually demonstrate a lot of these features so that the large enterprise community can start to get really comfortable with their options and choices to solving these problems that are slowing them down or stopping them really from widespread agentic AI deployment within the large enterprise. So I think that's all I really wanted to say, is to invite all the vendor community to participate. You can do that by either going up to the onug.net website underneath collaborative and the agentic AI overlay webpage, or feel free just to send email to Jeanette at onug.net, and we can get you all onboarded and synced up. Okay, thanks so much. It was such a pleasure. Again, this is Nick Lippis on the Built for Trust podcast, and we'll talk to you soon. See you in Dallas.